Okay, so I went on to TikTok again earlier. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I was just a little bit bored. And so I came across another discussion related to some medical people pushing the pro-life, pro-choice issue. And so they let me on their panel after I waited and waited for quite some time. I got on their panel. And so it's always a bunch of young people, like maybe in their late teens, early 20s. And they're solid pro life people. That's all they are. And so I went on there. They asked my age. I told them I was over 50. Which I mean, they just want to make fun of people is all. That's all they still want to do. I told them I'd lost a baby that had no brain. It was anencephalic. And so they didn't say much else about it. But then they were talking about people, being born a certain way. They were still being mean to people who were pro-choice, basically, is what they're doing. So I explained to them, I said, now, okay, so when a person dies, when they're elderly, they don't feed them any food. They basically let them starve. So they were carrying on about all these things about, well, the fetus made a choice to do this and the fetus made a choice to do that. And I said, well, yes, if you look at it like that, then the fetus made a choice to be born with a birth defect. Oh, that set them off, and they just started yelling at me to the point eventually they kicked me off their panel. So the girl was just muting me, and I said, well, you're just doing rage baiting. And she kept muting my microphone is all she did. And so I'd unmute myself and say censorship. That's all I started doing is censorship. I just kept saying censorship, censorship up until the point she kicked me off the panel, which I knew she would do. They had no plans. They didn't want to hear anything about pro-choice. And so it's like she just marginalized, pretty much it's still the same thing. These young people. And it's like, when I was on TikTok last year, there was the young girl who was talking about how she hated old people. She literally said that she hated old people. And it's like, who wants nurses in the medical field who hate old people, caring for them, if that's the job that they're supposed to be doing related to being a nurse's aide or in assisted living? So they're just doing a job where at the same time they don't care about old people or the people that they're caring about, and so they just want to be on TikTok or be the next social media influencer, rage baiting on TikTok.